We are rolling. Timothy, we've got Sam and Christina.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up?
The Mind Body Girls. What's up, girls?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Of course.
We're so excited.
Welcome to Timothy's beautiful living room.
Yes, my kitchen-ish.
Your place is great.
Thank
I
you.
want to meet your little girl.
Do you feel like you know her with all the pictures?
Yes.
And this one behind you is my favorite.
I love it.
Isn't that great? Hawaii.
Tossing
Hawaii,
her
right?
up in the air. Yeah, Hawaii.
Yeah. Cool. Well, first, why don't you guys tell us exactly what Mind Body Girls? So you guys started this 2 months ago, 18 months ago, something like that?
Yeah.
Recently.
Well, actually, can you
Recently.
give us background on individuals first and then how you came about?
Sure.
Would be better.
Sure.
You can go
I'll
ahead,
go first.
Sam.
So I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire life, for like the last 10 years at least. I started in the fitness industry, modeling, acting, and all of that. Then I went into creating a video production company, thinking that was the longevity of like my career, something that I can do, as I get older and I'm no longer on camera, all that kind of stuff. So I built this really successful business. And basically fast forward through that, hit a lot of financial goals, personal goals, business goals. And still at the end of all that, I still felt super unfulfilled. So throughout the last couple of years on my journey, kind of dug more into like the spiritual side and figuring out myself and self-development and everything. Kind of ties in with Christina's story a little bit here. We kind of met up, and you kind of say a little bit more about you first, and then we'll kind of tie it in.
Very similar. So ever since I was little, I kind of always known I was going to have my own business. I didn't know what it was, but my mom was an entrepreneur. So growing up and watching her grow her business.
What did she do?
She is an import-export in hair distribution products, and she's like patented hair extensions.
Wow.
She's like this like queen of like hair replacement and hair extensions, that whole industry, which never really appealed to me, but I just saw her thrive in her element and just be this powerhouse woman my entire life. So I'm like, that's totally going to be me too on my path. So very similar. I started my own wedding and event planning business, grew that. We both started our businesses around the same time too, which was really interesting. So we were both we saw each other and we saw how motivated we both were, and how fast me and her are when we work. It's like with us and with like, I feel like true entrepreneurs, when you have an idea and a passion and that fire in you, like we get it done, and we don't get it done, but we get it done like the next day, and we're like on it.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think we both recognized in each other.
Yes.
So I started my wedding and event planning business, Cake and Punch Productions, 3 years ago, built that up, got published in like every single wedding outlet, been on TLC a couple times on like Say Yes to the Dress, and hosted a show like I Want That Wedding. So I'm like doing all these things that I've dreamed of my whole life since I was little.
Yeah.
Same exact thing happened. I'm like, something's missing. I'm feeling this like lack of unfulfillment, when it's like from the outside, it's like, oh my gosh, you've been on TLC a couple times. Like I wanted to do TV hosting too. So it was kind of like I was blending all these things, but there was still this something that was missing. And for us, when we met, we both kind of started like our spiritual journeys at the same time. We met at a women's circle. So
How long ago was this?
3 years
Three
ago.
years ago.
Okay. So you guys have both already built a business?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How old are you guys when you roughly started your entrepreneur careers?
19, 20.
Okay. Early.
And I'm now
Yeah.
31,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I would say like right out of college, 21.
Early 20s.
Yeah, but my wedding and event planning business is about 4 years old now. Yeah. So was on that journey, and I forget, where were we now?
You guys met 3 years ago?
Yes.
Yep, 3 years ago. So that's when I moved to LA 3 years ago. I had two friends when I moved here. And one of them...
It's more than we had when we moved here.
It's more than I have now.
And it was just like, I just had uprooted my life from Arizona, moved to LA, started over absolutely everything, from networking, everything. And I had two friends, and one of them, she had like just kind of started on her own like business spiritual journey kind of thing. And she started hosting these like women's events, women's circles. And that's when I met Christina. And from there on, like that's when we kind of started building our networks and talking ideas, whether it's business or self-development or lifestyle or anything like that. So that's what we were kind of mentioning when we kind of noticed as her and I were both growing in our businesses, like achieving all these goals, meeting up every couple weeks and kind of talking about what we had created or done or accomplished, we noticed it in each other, like, damn, she's fucking killing it. I'm killing it. Like, this is so cool. Like, it's so great to have friends like that. And then that's how we got to the point this year where we had achieved all this massive success. And we're just like, well, what's next? Because this is cool. This is amazing. We're so blessed. Like, don't take it that we don't feel grateful for what we've done. It's just like, well, I'm not like putting out anything that is helping anyone else. Like, I'm helping people with their businesses and their marketing, but I'm not feeling that I'm living up to my fullest potential anymore. Yeah. So,
and I feel like when you're kind of like in this soul searching journey where you start listening to yourself and you're kind of like, you're getting more in tune with the desires of your heart and like big picture stuff. So I felt like we both, like, it's funny that we both had that feeling at the same time. We weren't together, but I did have this kind of pull to be like, I need to reach out to Samantha. Like this little whisper in me, and like, I just need to check in with her and see where she's at for some reason. I'm like, I don't know, maybe she's in the same spot. So we kept we kept missing each other, and we finally saw each other, and I'm like, I basically unleashed. She's like, how's your? I'm like, it's been terrible. I'm unhappy. I'm like, everything's great. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to be on a show on TLC. Freaking amazing. I know, right? But like something's missing and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
That like little feeling inside of you where I'm like, I'm not living my fullest potential. I'm not utilizing all of my talents. To me, it was like one of the most frustrating feelings because I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was trying a lot of things. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to do my own pilot for my own show. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to open a meditation studio. Oh, I'm going to do. And so it was just like all these things.
You're all over the board.
I was all over the board searching.
Were those ideas or did you actually like?
Those were like, I wrote like a business plan. I did. We shot a sizzle reel. Like I was like trying so many different things because for me, when I get that pull on my heart where I'm just like, okay, this is my idea, I'm going to go for it. And then I was just like, that's not it. Okay, I have a new one. I'm going to go for it. Okay, that wasn't it either. And then for us, it literally took us like a 5-minute conversation on the beach where I walked away where I'm like, if me and Sam do anything together, it's going to be fucking powerful and we're going to crush it. Yeah. And I instantly was like, if we did anything, we'd be like the Mind Body Girls. And like, I walked away and I was going to text her and then I was like too embarrassed to be like, have to give this like crazy idea. But we met up like, I think like,
it was like a week later.
Were you guys friends at this time or you guys are like acquaintances? Okay.
No, this was,
so you guys are hanging out a decent amount?
Not a decent amount. I think it's because we live kind of far apart.
Yeah,
but
it was kind of a shift in the whole women's circle thing where it kind of, the girl leading it kind of put it on pause for a little while. So no one else took initiative to kind of keep it going. So that was like the first half of the year, right?
And she's on the west side.
And
I'm like mid-city. You know, you hang out with who you live by.
Yeah. A little bubble.
So it was like, of course.
Which is only like 3 miles apart. But
it's
really not. In LA, it's a different state.
Crossing the 405? Nah.
Right.
And we're both so busy.
You know what I mean? Cross Lincoln.
So it was perfect timing though, because we both reached this point where we were like having this pull and we didn't know what it was, but I was going down the path of like really getting into like spirituality and mindset work. To me, like really harnessing the power of your mind is like, I just became really obsessed with it. Just like, oh my gosh, like it's like meditation and just like getting past limiting beliefs and stepping into empowering ones and manifesting the life of your dreams. Like it was like when you start really doing the work and putting things out there and literally seeing it happen right before you, I'm just like, whoa, like what else can I do? Yeah. And she was on the same path as well. So
it was like literally a week later, we're just like, let's just meet up for coffee. Just a quick coffee. Let's touch base privately without a big group around us. That turned into literally a 5-hour meeting. We wrote out a complete business plan.
I feel like we bought the domain.
We bought the domain. And like everything was just clicking. Like that day, we're just like, yes, let's do it. And Mind Body Girls was born instantly. And we've just been going.
And we're like 2 months in and it's like we're on fire.
So like, what is it?
Great. So we are, again, so we're both,
I mean, I see what it is on social media, but like, I'm sure there's a lot more to what I can see.
Absolutely. We both, of course, so we're both entrepreneurs and we built our businesses up, but we reached that point where we had that feeling of unfulfillment. Sure. So, and we're not the only women or anyone going through this. So we just really, we see the need for this transition process that women go through that isn't being met and isn't really being talked about. So we want to be there and help equip women with tools to get their clarity and to
Okay.
figure out what it is that they want to do, what really sets their soul on fire. And with that is that we have events, we're going to do retreats, podcasts, just kind of content about diving deep, soul searching, just being on that journey, and how we can equip and empower women to step into their truth.
Interesting.
And
Gotcha.
Samantha, if there's anything else you want to add.
No, you kind
That's
of nailed it.
the gist of it.
Yeah.
I know you've been a couple different places. You guys did meetups. I don't know if that was just, we're at an event, let's meet up with some people that are also at the event, or if that was a scheduled thing.
Yeah, so we do have girls not only all over the country already that the community is building. We have a private Facebook group, but we do have girls also internationally that are in this group. So right now what we've started with is meetup events every 2 to 3 weeks in LA, obviously, because we're here.
Yeah.
But at those sessions, so these are scheduled, girls RSVP, and each time we meet up, there's like a different topic that we talk about. Like this last one that we just did this last weekend was all about ego and intuition. So we'll do a meditation, we'll do journaling activities. It's like a little mini workshop almost.
Cool, yeah.
You could call it that. And yeah, so we really just dive in, connect, other women connect with each other because they're all there for like kind of the same thing. And I just know because Christina and I met at this, a women's circle 3 years back, we know how powerful it is.
Sure.
So it's just also bringing those like-minded women together where they can build new relationships and empower each other. And who knows what can be born out of, something like that. So.
Yeah. Do you guys monetize those, or do you have are you making money on it now?
At the meetups, no.
The events are donation based right now, just because we're just a couple
donation
months
based
in.
means pay our ass.
Suggested donation for,
Yeah.
of course, like the space that we get
Yeah.
Sure.
and our time that
Yeah.
goes
Yeah,
into the
it
event.
takes a lot of time
Sure it does,
planning
yeah.
planning the events, planning the meditations,
The
writing it
content,
out,
the
the
thing,
content,
sure.
the journaling. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sure.
it all does. So basically our goal with that is we already have girls reaching out from other states like,
Cool.
when are you coming to us? When are you doing this? So next year our plan is definitely to do a nationwide tour, going to different
Cool.
states,
Yeah.
meeting those girls and, creating that. And then from there, our mind expands with doing 1 to 2 day health and wellness kind of festival days
Yeah.
where that will be, including yoga, meditation, fitness stuff, anything to do with like health and wellness of the mind and
Sure.
body, basically
Yeah.
mind
Yeah.
body girls. We'll be planning those out too. So we have big plans and a big vision.
That's cool. I know you've done stuff where you've gone and done retreats.
Yeah.
Like I assume they sent you out to host the
Yep.
fitness part of it. Do you come from fitness too?
No, I don't come
Not at
from
all.
fitness, but I do come from wedding and event planning.
So
So
you're-
I can
you're the
freaking
event. There
coordinate
you
an
go.
event.
Right.
Events and events, yeah.
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 I like it. I dig it.
So I had a question. So when you guys were mapping this 5-hour meeting, you bought the domain name. What was, go into market strategy? What are we going to do? Is it the events? Is it the retreat? What were you guys thinking right away?
For us, I know that having something kind of without a footprint, because we want to travel and we don't want something that's like going to kind of hold us to one spot. So we really wanted to make kind of an online community and then of course have live events and be able to connect with women in person. But for us, we were really focused on like content that women can use to find the resources within themselves. So for us, we were like, we want to create a course that women can use to get clarity in this transition process, because this was what was missing for us. Having that feeling of knowing that you want something or something is missing and you can't figure out what that was, rather than spinning your wheels and doing like 5 other business ideas like I was doing.
Yeah.
If we can help equip women to get that clarity.
Or even just a lot of women or people in general just settle.
Yeah.
Sure.
They
Yeah.
dislike their lives. They
Yeah.
hate their job. They're even in relationships, anything.
Yeah.
They just settle because it's comfortable. So
Yeah.
bringing this course to life and this brand to life, it kind of just helps build that awareness where it's like, okay, well, my life sucks right now. I'm really unhappy, but shit, like this is a plan I can follow to get me out of that.
Yeah.
So I think that's our biggest thing, is just helping women realize you don't have to be in this shit for forever.
Right.
Like, you have a choice and we have a plan to help you get out of it. Cause I think that's like the hardest step for most people. It's just taking that first step.
How do I do it?
How to do
100%.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not from LA. Are you from LA?
No, I'm from Florida.
Yeah, so none of us are from LA. And that's a big LA thing is there's not the stuck settling thing as much. I mean, there is, but we're from Ohio. There's a lot of people from Cleveland, Ohio, who are stuck doing the same damn thing they were doing 10 years ago.
Yep. That's
and hate
exactly
it.
why I left
Right?
Arizona. It's like
Yeah.
I was starting to feel just stuck. And I'm like, oh God, if I stay here, like this is going to be it. And
Yeah.
I need to get out. So
Right.
that was my first step. You know,
But
getting
again,
out
the
of that.
question is usually it's like, well, I don't know what to do. Like our
Yeah.
mom has a job she doesn't love.
Oh, she hates it.
She hates it. Well,
Yeah.
just put her on blast.
Yeah, she hates
Get her
it.
ass
She's pretty
fired.
open about that.
Yeah. But, she's always like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, what can I do? And we try to help her. And Tim had a business. I guess you guys were kind of business partners, or were you? Yeah. A couple years ago on a project. But we've tried to give her ideas and try to get her to do it. But a lot of times it's still just, what's the next step? Like, well, you're not going to make $1 million tomorrow.
No.
Like, you're going to have to put in work. But like, how do you guys start? I don't know if this is like.
Yeah, well, it is scary,
Yeah.
you know, and it is a very uncomfortable process and it's not easy. But when you finally acknowledge that something's missing and that you are settling in one aspect of your life, that feeling gets even stronger and stronger. So it's either going to be a choice of like, you're going to push that down or you're going to dive deep, ask yourself hard questions, like take responsibility for some of the things that maybe have gotten you to this point.
Sure.
So it's not the most comfortable process, but it's a process that you have to go through if you really want to take your life to the next level.
Sure. I think we're weird where that's never been an issue. Like it's never been hard to do that where we just said, fuck it. He just moved to Charlotte out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then he was on a
That
flight.
was but that was at the point where I was like, same with you, or if I stay
Sick
here,
of
I'm
the
stuck.
biz.
So I was
Yeah.
literally, I'm moving to Charlotte without any plan. It was just get me out of this city and
Yeah.
then I'll figure it out and then
Yeah.
move to Los Angeles
I
after
think
that.
that's
but-
like an entrepreneur thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because it's really easy. I mean, it's easy for us too. So stuff like that comes, I think, easier for people who have
Sure.
this like entrepreneurial
Yeah.
spirit. But maybe for the people who don't have that, it's just maybe more of a slower, scarier process. So if we can assist them to make that process easier
Yeah.
and not as painful
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe faster.
Yeah.
Faster is the
Yeah.
key. 'Cause
Yeah.
the longer people sit there, the longer
Absolutely.
they're
Yeah.
getting-
And having that support group and support system too. Like I know that was key for me
Yeah.
when I moved here. Like I just still think, that women's circle group, because that helped a lot. Like, especially just moving to LA, finding other like-minded women, knowing, and especially in a place like LA, like you need such a good positive support system because you can either go down a path out here where it's like, you can be inspired or you can get sucked down
Hell
their
yeah.
shitty party,
Yeah.
derailed, way. So,
Hell yeah.
We're tired of like the surface level friendships
That-
and conversations.
Isn't it so funny here in LA? The first thing when you meet somebody, and maybe it's different for you girls, but like when we meet somebody, it's like, oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like that doesn't happen other places in the country. I don't think. I
No.
don't know. Not the other places I lived.
No.
It's what do you do? Which really means like,
And
how can you help me?
Right.
Right. And I think for us, maybe the question is a little bit more like what's your passions? What
Sure.
are your desires?
Yeah.
Expand a little bit more on like not specifically what it is that you do, because it may not be something that lights you on fire, but like what is it?
Sure.
And like, oh, like, well, you can, I feel like everyone deserves to be doing what they love and getting paid for it.
Sure. I think most people just can't figure out the way to do that.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think
Or they
people are
don't-
scared.
yeah.
Or they're scared
Yeah.
and they're making
I think they do
decent
have
enough
ideas
money.
that,
Yeah.
I could do this and get away, but then I got to leave my salary job, which means I have no income coming in, and now I'm scared I can't pay bills.
Yeah.
Is what people are
Have you
thinking.
guys ever had a 9 to 5?
Yes.
You have.
And I realized how I cannot do that.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you did for what, 2 years?
A year.
A year.
But that was,
Is it?
yeah, that was right out of college because I wanted to create this app essentially, and I didn't know how to code, and I didn't have money to pay for a developer, so I joined a web design and marketing agency, met a bunch of developers, made money, and then I built it. So that's,
Smart.
That's
Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
but
Yeah, I did the
9 to
corporate
5
thing for
yeah.
2 years, and it definitely, like when I left, I'm like, well, that is the last time I will have a boss.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine that. I mean, I'm Timmy's boss, but besides that, I couldn't imagine having somebody tell me
No.
what to do. Even sometimes when we do projects, we do video work marketing, and sometimes when they come back with feedback, it's like fucking A.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way.
yeah.
I've never had a 9 to 5, but I have that same, like I have video clients, which I work with, which are, I enjoy that. That's a good creative process. But
Yeah.
I think my 9 to 5 kind of relates to, I also coach in a fitness studio. And that to me, just, a couple classes here and there, that to me sometimes is like fuck, like I can't even handle
Yeah.
this stuff sometimes, because you see other people run their businesses and I'm like, why are you doing that? Or
Yeah.
you could do so much better. Or there's like, you know, you're on the same page with things and you're just like, ugh, like I have,
yeah.
So
And sometimes it's great. Like some of the people we work with are great and amazing.
Totally.
It's fun, and they're
Totally.
like do some cool shit, or they have cool ideas.
but it's that whole thing of like, well, you're not in control
Yes.
of it.
Yeah.
Control thing.
And
Yeah.
and that's when it's like,
And I feel like just the whole like corporate model, it's just like when it comes to titles and ranking, there's a lot of ego involved. And
Definitely.
And with me and Samantha coming together, that was something like from the very beginning, we were like, we are checking our egos at the door. We're not bringing that into this because I mean, we see like how toxic that can become.
Yeah.
When it's like you're constantly competing, you're constantly trying to prove rather than just be. So with us, that's something, I mean, I know I noticed that a lot in the corporate structure that I was in, that just did not sit well with me.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of
There's
crazy.
been a bunch of surveys out even recently how like, well, that's the Google building right there. Like Google and Yahoo and all these places are like free lunches, free dinner,
Yeah.
free fitness, which is all great. But the number one thing people want now is flexibility to work from home,
yes.
which is a control thing too. Like I'm not going to come sit at my desk from 9 to 5
Yeah.
between these hours. I want my own freedom to do work when I
well, because
can do
there's
work.
even been studies too where I think people are only so productive for like really like 3 to 4 hours a day or something, and the rest is just kind of like bullshit talking around the office and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it just,
I know
9 to
for
5
me,
just
I
doesn't
want
make
my
sense.
employees to be happy. And
yeah.
if
Sure.
they're happy and they want to be doing the good work for you, like that's a win-win for everybody.
Definitely.
So if you'd rather work from home and you can get the exact same thing done because you're sitting on a computer, what does it matter if you're doing it at home? But then maybe you got to be with your dog or your kid or like
Yeah.
something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Why not?
Do you guys want to have employees?
Well, we'll definitely
We
have
want
a
a
team.
team.
Yeah, for
Team,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
How
Yeah,
far
because-
away do you think you guys are from that?
Where I honestly think we're really close.
Really?
Yeah, because we know how to do everything when it comes to launching and growing businesses. However, when we're focused on, for example, building sales pages or, you know,
Yeah.
setting up Facebook ads or whatever that is, that takes so much energy away from our creative process.
Yeah.
So we would love to hand off that stuff. Like we would still write all the copy, all the creative stuff, but we
Yeah.
would want, you know,
Just
for
man-
people, even just
managing
set up
that
like
stuff. Yeah, sure.
email blasts and
Sure.
stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
someone else to run that stuff. Like that's where we see like our team growing.
Sure.
And let us just do the creativeness and
Sure.
use our energy for that.
Because we know what the Mind Body Girls are going to be looking for. So it's like in order to get into that, like I feel like we need to have a more clear of mind than be worried about the tech side of stuff.
Yes.
Or
Yep.
So it just kind of pulls us away from like really being in alignment and giving the content that girls are looking for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any way there could be a Mind Body Boys?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We talk about this
Dude,
all the
I was
time.
going to say we could be the Mind Body Boys.
Yes, and you
I
know
don't
what's
know,
funny?
we'll franchise
we get
out.
so many messages all the time from guys that follow us, and they're like, "We're the Mind Body guys," because
Yeah.
yes,
It's needed.
it's definitely needed.
Is there
We
anyone
feel
who does
this-
that for guys?
Not
We've
really.
been
prime.
talking about this, but hey, guys, listening, I mean, it's needed.
It's needed.
So
Guys need this as much as women do.
But yes.
Agreed. It would have to be
Agreed.
tweaked a little bit.
Yes,
Yes.
100% for the
Absolutely.
more masculine
Right,
side, of
sure,
course.
sure.
that's why we can't do it.
Yeah.
We know what women need and what in the environments that we need to open up and to really dive
Yeah.
deep within ourselves, and that's way different than whatever you guys are
Yeah.
gonna do. So I'm like, I
Whatever
don't think
you
you guys are
people-
gonna like be in a circle and pass stage and like talk about your
Yeah.
feelings, even though maybe like you guys should. But yeah, I don't know whatever that is for guys. So it's like, but we need it. It's
Sure.
so needed.
I think guys are much less, I mean, everyone knows this, guys are much less likely to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
So it's like if they're thinking or like, I don't need help from you or you other dude, it's like, I got it.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
in me.
Yeah.
There's actually a study, I read this, I think last week, like Yale or Columbia or like one of those schools, like
One of those people.
Yeah, one of those schools that put a lot of money into this research showed that men need 2 days a week for male bonding at a bar, drinking with their friends to become more healthy.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Deep.
Why drinking?
I
though?
know.
I don't know. That's what it was. It was specifically drinking.
Huh.
Because as we're going through our learning about different things with drinking and
Not that there's
alcohol
anything
and-
wrong with
not
it.
that there's wrong with it.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
But it definitely
Should we crack open this wine
That was the segue
you know.
into.
at 1 p.m.?
But it does.
Yeah, I don't know. It was specifically drinking, though.
Yeah, it's interesting because drinking lowers your vibration,
Hmm.
which means you're not thinking you're expanding at a level
Sure.
that would
Maybe
be
that's
more
what men need.
beneficial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
I
just want
don't.
to
So
sit
it's
there
not
and
that-
watch football and,
Yeah.
and
I,
drink.
I haven't drank 2 times in a week in probably 7 years. In any week.
As in you're drinking more or less?
no,
no,
that's
no,
not
no.
true. We went to Las Vegas for the bachelor party last year.
Well, when you're in Vegas, it's kind of a different story.
Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
did. That's 2 days though. But
Yeah.
even I left early. I don't drink. Like I drink, but I don't. I probably haven't had a drink in 3 months. Something like that.
Honestly, I'm not a big drinker because I'm half Asian and I technically can't metabolize
Nah.
the alcohol fast enough.
There is a vodka made for Asian. Yeah,
Get outta here.
I'll look it up. When
Shut
the
up.
guy is Asian and made it for.
You know what? It's about time.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so for me, I was just kind of like that. And we have marijuana out here in California. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And for me, I've cut back on my not like I was a big crazy partier by any means, but now it's interesting now over like the past 3 or 4 months after really diving into Mind Body Girls and learning more about the body and how different things affect us and vibration and just all that stuff. I've cut back a lot and I'm super more mindful now when I do drink or have a glass of wine or 2 because it's just mind blowing how that stuff affects you just not only
Sure.
just physically and by health, but just overall
And
well-being.
we don't have time
and
for hangovers.
we don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
We
that like
don't.
sets you back.
Yeah.
No.
It
Dude, I
just-
can't.
I
Yeah.
have that little one. She doesn't care if I'm hungover.
Yeah.
It's 5 in
No,
the
I
morning.
can
It's
imagine.
let's
Laddie.
get rolling. Yeah,
It's
she
rocking.
does not care.
No. So is like the whole embodiment of Mind Body Girls.
Mm-hmm.
How do you start? I come and I don't know what to do. How do you guys start with my process? Whether it's at a retreat or get together, like retreat in the future,
Put 'em
or
in
get
the
together.
hopper. Like what's that process? If
So
we were a girl walking in.
yeah, so our community starting, you're in the community. We post very educational content, that will help with self-development right now. And then right now we have a course launching on October 7th called Up Level. So basically your plan would be to join that course and we'll be running these courses multiple times a year. But
Okay.
this is the first one. So this is that first one where we take you through the process for a month. It's a month long of going through finding the clarity, finding what's holding you back, then going through the ultimate plan of what next steps you got to take. And we create that entire action plan for you, basically. You
So
just
you're
have to
working
follow it
directly
and do
with
it.
them, or is it like a system?
It's a community-based course. So
Okay.
so we have a private Facebook group for Mind Body Girls for everyone. Then anyone that goes into the Up Level Academy put into another private Facebook group. And from there, every week, there's 4 different modules that we go through. We do a Facebook Live, go through the module. A couple days later, there's a Q&A. So it's like a whole process where it's like a group of women do it all together.
Yeah.
But you do get like that one-on-one from us too.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Will that be eventually a different tier of like, here's our community, and if you want one-on-one coaching, or is it all just going to be basically the same?
We probably won't be doing one-on-one coaching just because it's
Time consuming.
time
Not
consuming.
shareable.
Yeah, so
For
that's
sure.
why it's like if you want that one-on-one, come into the course because that is when we do the live Q&A sessions. That's when you have your time to ask your questions. We answer, we dive in, we dive deep with you, etc.
Gotcha.
I know you guys just started. Is it actually 2 months? Was I right on that or something like that?
I would
Like when
say
you
it's the
think-
beginning of July.
Yeah, June.
End of June, beginning of July was
What
like
is
the
that?
first meeting me
4
and you.
months? 3
Yeah,
months?
3.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Do you have any success stories yet of anybody who's coming?
Yes.
Really that quick?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Yeah. Should we
Just-
name names or just
Well,
talk
I
about
mean,
it?
yeah, just from our first event, like a few of
Yeah.
the women that attended our first event, and you can tell the ones who really take what we're saying and apply it
Yeah.
and digest it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, within 24 hours, like I got a new client just by implementing
Cool.
some of the tools that we're sharing with them.
Yeah.
And it's just, girls are going after it. And you can really tell the difference, the ones who are really working on themselves because they have goals that they want to reach. And then ones who may just take a little bit more time, but it's all a self-discovery process. And what the whole thing is that like, yes, we want to equip you, but at the same time though, we want to equip you to dive within to find the answers within yourself. So that's kind of at your own speed, as fast or as slow as you want to take it. So first is this almost acknowledging like, well, what's missing and where are you settling right now?
Sure. How many people were at that event?
We get about like 15 to 20 per event.
Mm-hmm. Which is good, because right now with these meetups, we don't want them super big, because a lot of the time it's very conversational as well.
Sure.
So
everyone's sharing and connecting. And
what's just great to hear is, you know, when we started this, like this was just our idea. Like we think this is what women want and need, because this is what we needed, right? But it wasn't until after our first event, not probably a couple weeks after that, where after the event, girls were just like, oh my God, thank you so much for creating this. Like, thank you so much for holding this space for us. And then it was like, when's the next one? Can we meet up next week? Can you guys do something next week? And we're just like, holy shit, like this is like really powerful. And now we're seeing like the same women coming to every single event, and then they're bringing their girlfriends or their girls that they've met, and then just new women that are finding us on Instagram joining that we haven't even met before. And it's just, we just feel so fulfilled and just with everything in the direction that it's going, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, well,
that we have such an impact.
And I assume there wasn't 10,000 people that went to the first event, but I think a lot of people are afraid to start because it's going to be like, well, who's going to come to this then?
Totally.
And we don't even care.
Right,
Honestly,
it doesn't matter.
We got to this,
you know?
like me and Samantha, we're so confident in our mission and what we're doing. We're just like two people can come and we don't even care, because we know like this is going to be big. Like we feel it.
Sure.
And we just like know ourselves and how hard we work and just how freaking awesome we are at business. Like we just like know it's only a matter of time. So we're just like, if anything, excited, like, girls, join us now. Like you get to start with us from the beginning and like watch us freaking take this off.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people are afraid to do that because it's, well, no one's going to see it or no one's going to listen. Or we started, we don't vlog anymore, but we were vlogging for a little bit, and then be like half a person that watched it. Yeah. And I didn't give a shit. Nah. And maybe Timmy gave a shit.
No,
I didn't give a shit.
Because you're doing what you
we
love.
Both didn't give a shit.
And the fact that
it was cool.
I mean, it was just,
but we also
following us anyway. So it's not like we were doing stuff or setting stuff up for the vlog. It was just following us.
It was
anyways.
Us moving around doing our shit, and it took like a little bit of time to put together a video. You know, an hour or two maybe. But even out of the, let's say realistically, at first there'd be 40, 50 people watching. We got business from people watching what we do, like literal business from one or two of those people who watched out of the 47, where most people would be like, well, no one's fucking watching this shit, fuck it. But for us, it was worth that for sure. Even like starting a podcast, who maybe there's nobody that listens to this, but eventually there will be people that listen to this and benefit and see value in it.
I think it also comes down to like your intention of why you want to do it.
Sure, yeah.
Too, right? So it's like, for us, we're like, gosh, we could have like one girl in our group and we're just going to be still so on fire and passionate about it and so excited about it. Yeah. Rather than like, maybe if you go in and you're already like, oh, well, if no one's going to watch, then like, I don't want to do it. Then like, okay, well then maybe what's your intention of doing it? Is it for like, I don't know, like exterior purposes? Or, so I'd say that would be a question, because at the same time, we can hold ourselves back from everything in life with whatever story we want to keep telling ourselves.
Sure.
But those are limiting beliefs. Those aren't empowering us. And I believe any limiting belief that we have is false, because if it's not empowering us, like, it's false. Get out of here.
Sure, yeah. I feel you. Again, you guys are early in this process, but has there been anything where you guys have started it and you're like, that is a dumbass idea, let's cut that, or pivoted or changed, or any like failures so far?
I mean, we're pretty good at
really.
I see you. Not really.
Zero.
Not really. If anything, we just feel there's not enough hours in the day right now to get out everything that we want to be doing. Like, that's kind of where we're at.
And we're still running our other businesses too.
Yeah, so that's another thing. So and those are taking more creative energy as well. But then we want to go, like, our hearts are in mind, body girls. So we're just in that kind of transition process. We're staying in the businesses, because obviously that's paying our bills.
Yeah.
This is like the fun right now. And then we'll transition out of all of our other stuff very soon, I hope.
Very soon?
Very soon.
So how many hours do you think you put on this per week?
Oh my gosh, we should record the hours. I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I mean, last night,
I think it was like a
yesterday I came
12-hour
over.
day.
Yeah, yesterday I came over like what 2, 3.
Yeah.
And I was at your house till 1 a.m. almost. We were working the entire time.
What are
working
you working on? Is it
right
content?
now?
Is
Yeah, no. Right now we're working on the launch of our first course, which is October 7th. So yesterday was all like the setting up and writing all the email funnels and all that stuff, and that takes a long time. It's crazy how time consuming it all
yeah.
is. So
And I
but
saw
we
on
love
October
it.
7th, they go to your website and they sign up. Is that how?
That's when the actual up level starts. So
Gotcha.
we'll have about
Like a pre-order
yep,
type
a
thing?
10-day lead into that.
Yeah.
Which is kicking off next Wednesday, Thursday.
Jesus,
Hey.
we're almost October.
I know.
Yes, we are.
It's been a
Mine is
crazy
Halloween.
last year.
Halloween. Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
2018 has been a freaking year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going so fast.
I'm exhausted.
We're only 3/4 of the way down here.
Yeah.
I know.
We haven't hit fourth quarter. Have we hit fourth quarter? No, October's fourth quarter.
October 1.
Yeah. Interesting. So I don't think a lot of people understand how much goes into like the email funnels. And
So
Oh,
much.
that's a ton of work.
It is no joke.
Yeah. How do you guys split up workflow?
We
We're
just
still-
kind of like we're
Figuring
figuring
that
that
out
out.
still.
But yesterday we came up with this awesome process where we have like the structured out. So, for example, have to write out 15 emails to schedule. One thing that we've learned, we hate doing things last minute and burning them in my oil before something's due.
And I'm a planner. So
Yes.
it's funny
Ah,
because through
yeah.
this whole process, like we're very similar in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
but then we work different in some areas.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I need everything freaking planned out and scheduled ahead of time because that's how my brain works. So yeah, we realized we're like, oh my gosh, we need to give ourselves fake deadlines. So then that's what
Yep.
we're gonna
That's
do
so
now.
fun.
It's
Sure.
like we're giving ourselves a fake deadline as if the course is launching on Saturday. So then we're gonna get everything done by then because I hate doing anything last minute and freaking out like that. I don't like being in that frantic state. I'm like, I can't work like that. So I'm like, let's
the worst.
do a fake deadline. So we're frantic for fake and then we'll finish it.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people that sets your clock 10 minutes fast too? So you
Yes.
do you really?
Yes.
That is funny.
Yes. So basically, like, for example, how that works is like we'd have the structure of, okay, we need 15 emails written. And then Christina will decide what the topic is for each email. Christina will go in, kind of write the bones of it all. And then my job is then to take that and put it into MailChimp because I'm very familiar with setting
Sure.
up email campaigns, all of that.
Yeah.
She's
I'll
amazing
take that
at all the tech side
and then
of
make
stuff.
it all like
There
look
you go.
pretty and all the buttons and the links and all that. So I'll take
Yeah.
that, put it in there, and then write it in more of a like sales format, basically, and then schedule to post. So it's a really good flow for us where we're not with our whole thing. We like to conquer and divide stuff instead of both people working on the same thing. We think
Sure.
that's a waste of time. Unless
Yeah.
it's the actual course development, that's different. But when it comes to everything else, whatever we can like deduce time on, then we do that. So
That's the beauty of having a business partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
The beauty,
Yeah.
but it also can be a bitch too.
How's
Yeah.
that? I mean, like, we've been doing pretty
yeah,
good, though.
I think coming into this with the business partnership, we right off the bat we're like, we have to communicate everything, good or
Sure.
bad, what's pissing you off, what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what you're unhappy with. Like our communication is just like so crystal clear. And that's helped a lot because we know we've both worked with people in the past where when you hold things back, then it's like you harness that resentment or that
Yeah.
anger on the inside, and that's not a good working environment. So we knew if it's going to be a business partnership, it just has to be very open,
Yeah.
regardless if it's good or bad. And we talk through it. Like we use our own tools and
No,
techniques that we,
So
you
true.
know, that we
so
put
true.
into these
All
courses.
right, let's sit down. Let's go to the week 2. Wait, this is exactly what's going to happen in week 2. Let's go through this together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And again, it's like the whole ego checking, you know. So we go into it with just like, and it's funny because we've done a lot of research too. I'm like, I am an what am I? An ENFJ.
And I'm
Do you guys know what that is?
No idea.
Oh, I wish I could
Oh,
explain that better.
you
So
have to do
we've done. We're like, okay, we looked up our signs and how our signs work together.
yeah.
We've like
Oh,
looked
yeah.
up our numerology and how our numerology numbers work together,
Okay.
and like all of this stuff. And it's just so funny. So then I'm just like, oh my god, this is so true. I am such like a feelings person, and I need you to hear my feelings, Samantha. So when I'm like saying this stuff, I'm like, this is how I feel. I just need to be heard. I just need to feel like that you're hearing me,
Right.
you know. And then for her, she's just like, like she's very like logical, and she's just like, it has to be this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, so this is like us just kind of this balance between the two. It's so funny, but we look up like all of that stuff to see how we're compatible together and how we can like better communicate with each other and just like, you know, keep this relationship, friendship, business partnership great. So
because it's scary too, like going into business with a friend, you know, it's like a friend, or if it's like your partner, whether it's boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, any sorts of stuff like that, because it can get messy. So as long as we have those ground rules going in and abide them, then it's all good. Yeah. But the test that we're talking about is the personality test.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys should look that up.
And what is the EMF?
So
what does that mean?
It's like
EMFJ?
It's the Briggs-Myers test.
Oh, okay.
So you answer a series of questions, and it basically shows you like kind of your decision-making process in a way. So like for me, I'm like, what am I emotional? Something, feelings, like, we need to look it up.
It's the M.
Yeah, but it's cool.
But we're exactly the same.
A lot of companies do that.
Yeah. But it's just I'm more feelings and you're more thoughts. That was the only difference. Yeah. So now we're actually very compatible, Samantha.
I mean,
I remember we were talking, we had a guy, this is 3-4 years ago, and Tim's Lady High suggested we did that.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it. But,
no.
So we didn't do it. But
because you guys weren't communicating well with each other either.
I did not like him.
What, starting a business?
No, he was
working for us.
Yeah, he was working for us. And they were clashing, and
he was just a lazy shit.
Yeah, that's more or less where the clash came through.
That's what the test results would have said. He's a lazy shit.
Yeah,
and that's one of my couple things I don't do is laziness. So, but she suggested we do that. We never did it. No. Was it that one though?
Yeah.
Interesting. We should check our signs, like see how we're compatible.
We definitely should.
What are you guys?
Capricorn. What are you?
I'm Sag. I
don't know what that means.
I'm kind of new to all this stuff too, but I'm like really open and into it. So I wish I knew what that meant.
Well, we are not
no idea
into it so much.
But you guys are also brothers. So that could be.
I'm not too worried about it. We've been working together since 2011.
Since the 80s, man.
Since the 80s, since 84. We were both born in 84. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was January. He was December of 84.
What?
Irish twins.
There you go.
That's how me and my sister are too.
Really?
Not the same year. But
11 months?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah, it's like,
what?
I think we're 13.
And our mom was the same age when she had both of us. So her birthday is December 28th. She had Pat January 4th. Still 23 years old, had me December 8th.
Whoa.
And she was 23.
23, yeah.
Could you imagine that?
No, I know. My mom had us at 21, 22. Yeah, no, absolutely
And she probably wasn't that young. You know, like,
right.
You know, like for now, if you had 21, you're like, oh shit, that's young.
Yeah.
But back in the 80s, you're like, oh, that's just what you did. You graduated high school and you found a dude or girl and you had some kids.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Anyhow, anything else, Timothy?
I don't know what we were talking about before this, but I do have another question.
But I do, well, go ahead, Timmy.
I'm curious as to go back to like 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old. Do you have any advice because you guys were successful, but you were happy. Do you have any advice that you would give that person going into their 20s about entrepreneurship?
Start reading and listening to self-development podcasts.
Yeah, but which ones? Because there's a lot of people that are just fucking bullshit in this space where they just regurgitate what other people say.
Yes.
Like you need to find the ones that resonate with you and really speak to you. That's why we feel like there's such a space for a lot of people who are passionate about this, because everyone's going to have their own voice and their own perspective. So finding the person that resonates with you, that you can be inspired from and kind of expand from learning their viewpoints on. But yeah, I would say yes to a lot of things. Because if you're still trying to figure out exactly what it is, like that's all part of the process. But that's also why we made Up Level. So maybe you just need to take the Up Level course. But
I think the biggest thing is to listen to positivity every single day, no matter what your situation is. Like you can be like, when you're that young, you might still probably living at home or whatever. You have surrounding yourself with maybe not the best people because you're young and just you don't have
whatever. And you might not have a choice though when you're home. Like maybe mom or dad are that way. And
exactly.
Energy sucks.
So whatever's coming into your ears, make sure it's positive. Turn off the junk TV. Turn off all the reality shit. Like that's all just feeding you with nothing's good coming out of it. Like we've had these conversations lately, like just all the shit that's on TV. Like I don't even watch reality TV anymore personally. But I think just be conscious of what's going on in your ear, whether it's music, what are you listening to?
Absolutely. And
reading,
who you surround yourself with too.
Mm-hmm.
Your tribe, like your inner circle of people. What are they doing? What are they into?
Yeah.
Are you having conversations about businesses or what you want to do? Or are you just talking about going out and partying? You know what I mean? So absolutely filling your mind with positivity and inspiring things.
Yeah, that would be my advice for
and
early
then
20s.
just when I'm saying like say yes to everything, it's like when I look back on my life, everything has brought me to this moment. Everything that I've said yes to has led me here. And I went through all of it for a reason. It's like I'm able to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I narrated for auto shows and I got experience speaking on a microphone in front of people. You know what I mean? Like I got into events and I'm really good at coordination, which showed me that like it empowered me to like run my own business because I'm organized. It's just all these little things you could think like, it's just like a bullshit job, but it's like, no, it's like everything is bringing you to this moment, but you have to say yes and be open to it.
For sure.
And then also listening to intuition, your gut. You know, I think we're very conditioned to like, okay, go to high school. Once you graduate, go to college, you know, go do this, go do that, go get a boyfriend, go get married, go have babies. Like, but if that's not like
the worst,
you know, it's like, but if your gut is telling you like, I don't want to go to college because my parents want me to be a doctor. Well, don't fucking do it. Like now is the time. A lot of it's changing that there are other resources for education and support groups and whatever. Even just like courses like ours as well coming in that just find your true calling and your purpose and don't waste time or money or going into debt doing something that you're not 100% passionate about.
Isn't it crazy? In college, I could easily get $100,000 loan to go to college, but if I want to start a business at 18, I couldn't get $100,000. I couldn't get a $1,000 loan probably. I don't know. It's nuts that you're able to do that. I also think in 10, 15 years, the not smart kids will be the ones going to school.
Totally.
In college.
I think that's happening almost now.
Sure.
Honestly, like I think our conscious level is rising with that stuff, with all the entrepreneurs that are getting very popular, especially thanks to social media.
Sure.
Everyone having that platform to like voice, like this isn't the way, you know, just giving.
And kids are just being more exposed to different kinds of lifestyles that you can create and
you
have.
can see more things on social media than you could before.
Millennials are just everyone's kind of seeing through the bullshit, you know, like you see through it. That's why it's kind of like, oh, well, I mean, not like we're saying anything bad about college. Like we both went to college.
Totally.
Like,
but
you know what I mean?
But at the same time, am I using my degree? I went to college to go to med school. But while I was in college, I realized I was like, because my parents were like, you need to go be a doctor. And I'm like, okay, I'm good at science and chemistry. Sure. But then towards the end, it's like, fuck, I knew. I was like, all right, I'm going to finish out the last 2 years and I'm going to tell my parents I'm taking a year off to think about med school. Knowing all along, I was never going to go to med school. I needed that time then to figure my shit out.
Were they cool with that?
No. Yeah. Oh my God. It was awful. It was,
did they pay for your school?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that.
I had scholarships and, you know, I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to go into debt going into college. But yeah, so it was that tough thing where, you know, they paid for it and they expected more. And, but at the same time, like I still have friends that are in med school right now. And I am just so grateful that I didn't go through that. Yeah.
I will tell anyone who is going to college or in college to quit and get out. And he kind of has a degree. Even though he was supposed to like do some paper where he was like
it was the end, and they're like, we want you to write this paper and you can get your diploma. I was like, listen, my family's coming. I need to walk. That's all I want to do. I don't care about the paper. I already know what I'm doing. I don't need the paper. I already have a job. Yeah. And so I didn't write it, never received the diploma, but I walked. And,
so he's qualified for his degree.
Right.
I have a 4-year degree and a master's degree, and it's not shit. It put me, I think I was like $75,000 in debt. Still in debt.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just I'm certified in neurolinguistic programming and clinical hypnotherapy, which I don't
know what that means.
It's basically like the lost manual for your mind and how we can reprogram our mind to empower ourselves rather than hold us back.
Okay.
And in that course, there was this this kid who I freaking love, his name's Matthew McGregor. He's 18 years old and he's in this and he's like, no, instead of going to college, I'm going to go through all of these programmings because this is what I want to do.
Sure.
He's like, I want to help people like change their mindset and empower themselves and go after it. So he's like, yeah, my parents, like, rather than me going to college, I'm taking all because there's like more levels that you can take to the NLP programs and stuff like that. And he's like, he's signed up for all of them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like so far ahead of where I was at that age.
I think what would be phenomenal and what I would probably preach is someone who's like that, who knows what they want to do, but go live in a college town. So you still get the college experience, but you know what you're doing.
The college experience is
I wouldn't give it back for anything.
Same.
No,
Sure.
same.
However, the academics is another portion.
But I also think if I went and took my $100,000, I could go have a college-like atmosphere just about anywhere. Like I could.
You can't live in a dorm. I mean,
I get
I don't
it.
know. I feel like the college
it.
experience, roughing it almost. You keep your 100,000.
Well,
Just go on
I'm
ramen
not,
noodles.
but you're not
and some
able to
crap
get
beer
100,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you they weren't eating ramen noodles and drinking Natty Light.
What?
Were you?
College?
Yeah, I'm from
Oh,
Florida.
yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
I guess you're not. All right, fine, fair enough.
Yeah, I did the dorm life.
Is Natty Light just a staple for college kids?
Yeah.
'Cause
It
Yeah.
was. I
Well,
assume
Yeah,
it's
it was
like
for us
Michigan
too.
so it was
it's like water.
Yeah,
piss water. I call
Gross.
it. That's so
Bush
bad.
Light in Michigan is popular.
yeah.
Ugh.
I went to school at
Same
U of A in Tucson, so I was living the ultimate college lifestyle down there.
Yeah, there you go. We were both from, Grand Rapids is different, but he went to Bowling Green with me for a year. That is a town of like 30,000 where 20,000 are students and 10,000, 5,000 work there, 5,000 are just like,
Lifers.
life.
Life.
Yeah.
That's something that I definitely knew. I was like, I'm graduating within 4 years. I will have fun during these 4 years, but like I did everything I could to make sure I graduated on time because I'm like, I'm out of here. Like this serves its time and its purpose, and then I'm outie.
Where'd you go?
University of Central Florida in Orlando.
I used to work at UCF.
Get out of here.
I was an intern after. It was a postgraduate internship,
Okay.
and I was in the athletic marketing department.
Love it.
Working for a guy that I worked for, like a what do they call it, a practicum, so
Okay.
mini internship when I was in college at Bowling Green where I was. He went down there and he was the assistant AD for marketing or something like that.
What year were you there? Or years?
Just 2000.
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Oh, same. No way. We
2007,
totally probably walked by each other.
Probably did.
You
Did you go to,
probably
like,
bought
Night
tickets
Library?
because he was
Did you go to,
marketing
like,
for a sporting event.
None of those places?
No.
Oh, then we
No,
probably didn't.
I did nothing but work. We worked a good amount, and then I lived with my cousin. So I was in Orlando. I moved to Orlando. I lived with my cousin and 3 other dudes who were all college students at the time. So I was 23. They were 21, 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in a garage, or my room was in the garage in Orlando, Florida.
Uh-huh.
In a
Hot.
garage from January to July.
Oh, God.
In a garage, I lived. My bed was on a pull-out couch, and I put a mattress on top of it.
Fancy.
Right?
Amazing.
And then a couple times I'd have to pull it in because it was too damn hot to be out there.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. And I was making, I think, $1,100 a month, something like that. And I had a car payment, which was $375 a month. So there's like $800 to play with. And I paid rent.
That's a
It was a
lot.
couple $100.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. And insurance and all that shit.
Yeah. What car payment did you have for $300?
That's when I bought my Impala, baby.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
think-
amazing.
Yeah. That was the first car I bought and the only car I've ever had.
Wow.
I sold 5 years ago. But yeah, so I know UCF. You were
Orlando's great.
Orlando is great. I loved it for what it was then.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
never want to go back. I don't think I could ever move from Southern California just
I feel like
weather-wise.
how I explain it is like, so I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I lived in Florida, I'd say 21 years of my life. And I feel a I always knew I was going to live in LA though. I kind of always knew that ever since I was little. And I feel like there's no ceiling here for us.
Sure.
And when I go home, I have this weird feeling that there's this ceiling above me and I can only go so far.
Yeah.
And then when I'm here, it's like, the sky is the limit. I can do anything. So I think it's just kind of like what feels right to you.
Sure. I wonder if that's a real thing, or if there's actual limitations being in Fort Lauderdale opposed to.
Well, I
as
think
opposed to here.
so. I mean, the opportunities that I have received out here are things that you can't get anywhere else.
Sure.
Like
or if
the
it's an
only
opportunity
way,
thing, that's what I was going
the
to say.
only way
yeah.
I could be on a TLC show is if, hey, are you local to LA? Come, we're shooting next week.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you don't get opportunities or reached out to people if you're not in LA.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, like for us, we were talking about, I'm like, we're here in LA. We're going to be here because the opportunities that we want and how big we want to grow and what we want to do to thrive, it's all here. And it's really crazy because it's like, I feel like Los Angeles, like that's how it is. Like LA is like probably I'd say one of the most like powerful places that has the biggest opportunities in the world. Is that
100%.
naive for
Well,
me
that's
to
why,
say?
no,
Like,
it definitely is. That's why we moved here, was opportunity wise.
absolutely. It's just the exposure, the opportunities, the doors, the reach.
Yeah.
It kind of starts here.
100%.
Yeah.
So
But
we
don't
recognize that.
don't hype it
and
up too much. We don't need anybody
we don't-
else.
So
No.
it's
He wants to
very
get us
It's the most
expensive.
expensive place in the world. Do not come.
It is
Especially this
expensive.
area too. We try
Oh
to
my
like
gosh.
try not
Yeah.
to tell people. Am I too loud?
Yeah,
So
you're
I'm
a
out
little
of the loop here.
Yeah.
I don't have headphones. This area right here, we love, and we feel like it's like the hidden gem of Los Angeles.
Don't even say the city
I'm
name.
not. I wasn't going to.
It's just slightly out of the bullshit of LA. There's no traffic.
We've got security around the city 24/7.
We can get
It's
anywhere
nice
we
and
want
safe.
to, and like we're near the airport. We're near 405,
You need to consider.
and we don't even like when we see people tagging
Yep,
themselves.
don't tag
Well,
here.
also, so another thing about LA too is that like, sorry, this sounds so stupid, but only the strong survive here, right? You know
that's
what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can come here, but you like I've been here now for 8 years. You know, which is freaking crazy to think about, but it's like it really is. It weeds people out here. So totally come, give it a try. Maybe this is a place that you can step into and grow in, but
Yeah.
also it's very expensive to live here.
Yeah.
You know, so
It is what actually held me back from moving here.
Yeah.
For a while because I had friends move to LA like years ago.
Yeah,
And within a year or two, they were back in Arizona and saying how hard it was, how hard it was to make money, find jobs and whatever. Because, you know, I was like in the modeling, acting kind of industry, fitness stuff, whatever. And I was like, fuck, I'm like, dang, it must really be that hard. Even though I was like a hard worker anyway.
yeah.
And then finally I got to a breaking point in Arizona. I was like, fuck it. I'm
Make the
just
move.
going to try. I'm going to try and see what happens. And if worse things worse, like I just moved back to Arizona. Like I just need to go try. And I did it. And now being here, I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah.
Like it's
definitely expensive.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think about, I don't know if you thought about that moving out here.
No,
I was just like, all right, I got like,
it'll work.
I think
Yeah.
I had 2 G's in the bank. Like, let's rock it. This will last me. it's like a month later, like, God damn it.
momentum too is like everything when you think about it. It's like when people first come here, I'm like, you better hit the ground running.
Sure.
There's
You
no
know.
relaxing. There's no vacation time. It's like, go. That's what I did.
You know, you definitely did. Like I saw you like when you first moved here, but I knew you were gonna freaking crush it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So when we sit down again in 6 months and do this, where do you think Mind Body Girls
When 6 months
has
from
gone?
now, just so
March.
we have an idea.
March. Nice, Timmy.
Dude, I'm
Look at
like
that math.
Well,
I
hope-
celebrate half birthdays a lot.
There you go.
I would say my personal goals would be to sell my business, Kick and Punch, to a wonderful woman that wants to step into an already established brand, that they can take my company that I've grown to and use that for their passion. And then full-time Mind Body Girls diving in, doing this, traveling, doing retreats, having events, launching courses, everything that Samantha was saying earlier. At least like maybe not having all that stuff done, definitely having our podcast going.
Hey,
Yeah. That has to be going.
you can start that next
we'll
week.
have a couple courses already done, launched and done, completed. I think our retreat will be by that point already on the books and being advertised too. So that's
love
where
it.
I see it.
When are you thinking first retreat? If you're saying if
it
it's in the
depend-
books, you talking
Where
next summer
or what time?
When?
It's going to come down to, we have to look at weather, but I know
Probably summer. I don't like April. I feel like so
it'll
much
be
stuff
it'll
happens
be
in-
depending on
So if you're looking
Bali
at-
weather.
I was gonna say if you're looking at weather, it's not LA.
No, it
So
won't be here.
Bali.
It'll be a destination retreat
Interesting.
We're going to Bali in November. Gonna
to
check,
check it out.
Nice.
Things
Do
are
some
happening.
business research.
Yes.
As in like, relax. And then we've been working so hard. So we're just excited to have some fun, but then also get inspired while we're there.
Sure.
Nice.
Cool. Well, ladies, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much for
That
having
was
us.
fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, I knew you guys would be fun. I know Sam a
Wait,
little
are we
bit.
still rolling? Are we still
Yeah,
on?
we're still
Okay.
going. But I didn't know like what exactly Mind Body Girls was and where you guys were with it. You know, you only see so much when you see the page of the Instagram, but it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
interesting to learn.
it's our hearts, it's our souls. That's what we're pouring out, truly. So
I like it. Well, when we re-talk again here in a couple months, it'd be interesting to see where you guys are.
Definitely.
now that's even
Excited.
going to push us even
We're
more. I'm like,
rooting
we're
for
going to
you
go back
guys,
and we're
yeah.
going to be like, we're crushing it.
Yeah.
We told you we were going to do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Look at what we've done.
Yeah, because this is documented. We've
This
got
is.
multiple forms now.
It's on
We're
the
putting it out into
YouTubes,
the universe.
are.
Yeah.
It's going to
iTunes.
happen.
Holding us accountable.
Cool. Well, ladies, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.